Hello, good morning. It is July in Colorado, and this is our first summer here. It has been amazing. Lots of nice sunny days. We get storms, but they'll come, pass through, and then they'll be gone, and it'll be nice and sunny. Um, we get really hot weather, but we don't have a lot of humidity, so that's super nice. We have a pool here in our development, and my kids are wanting to go to the pool every day. So rather than do my hair every day, I kind of just throw it up and head to the pool and don't really do anything to it until I need to. Um, I decided that I want to make sure that we utilize this pool for Mitchell and even for my other kids. They just love to jump around, splash around in the pool. My ultimate goal is that we have a pool in our backyard sometime in the next couple of years. But I wanted to just do a video today and just share a little bit about my journey with wellness and kind of just my mindset on a few things. And if you have any questions, any further questions after I'm done with this video, I would love for you to reach out. And I would love to answer or walk you through any questions that you might have that I can answer. So my journey with health and wellness and just kind of being really open to educating myself happened right after I had Mitchell. And I really am not a good athletic workout or exercise person. And so after I had him, your fourth child, you're busy doing life. I just felt really, my weight was, it was only, I think, like 6 months after I had him that I started focusing on this. But, my weight hadn't gone away. And I went to this event for a company that I actually worked for several years. And I went to this event and I was educated. Within 30 minutes, I was educated about what my routine was like and what it was doing to my body and how some of the things that I was eating was not helping me, shred the weight or have some energy. And so I went on that journey. And at that time, I was drinking Diet Coke like crazy. So if we went out to dinner and they had free refills, they would just keep refilling my cup and I would just be drinking it. So that was one huge thing that I was introduced to, and that was the fact that Diet Cokes were not good for me. Since then, I've read so much about it, but at that time, I stopped drinking Diet Cokes. So when I heard what it was doing to my brain and my body, and I decided that day that I was not going to drink Diet Coke anymore. So over the years, then I think it was like 2 years later, obviously I wasn't buying it in my home because I wasn't drinking it. So my husband, he would still order it for me at dinner, and I'm like, I really don't want it. I don't crave it anymore. And so I stopped buying it. And then my husband would just have it when he was out, when we were out. And but now we have not purchased Diet Coke for our home in over 8 years. So I have not had Diet Coke in over 8 years. So there's more to that. Education-wise, I can inform you a little bit more, give you some information, share you some sites and information, research about Diet Coke, and I'm sure a lot of you already know some of that, but so that's where it started. And then it started with, the next thing was that when I woke up in the morning, I would have this bar with my coffee. And actually, I still do this. It's a different bar, but what I realized was what I was having was very similar to having like a Snickers bar, okay? So I cut that out, and I started my day off with something a little healthier that would fuel my body. But so I went on that journey, and so I started learning a little bit about what I was fueling, not fueling my body with. And over the 3 months after that, I was able to lose quite a bit of weight, and people started recognizing that, and so I kind of grew a business in the health and wellness industry back then, and I educated so many people, and that it was just an amazing journey that I was on. But it took me to a place that was very helpful for my son, because then after when he was about 3.5 years old, he was diagnosed on the spectrum, and at that time, I was probably going through a little grieving period and trying to decipher what to do for him, and all that. That I walked away from that business for several different reasons, but I started looking into different options for him and for our family, and I was open to different alternatives, because sometimes when you're in a business, you think a health and wellness business, you think that if they don't have it, we don't need it, and that was my mindset. If that company didn't have it, then I didn't need it, because they were a full wellness company. So by stepping away from that, I opened my eyes up to different opportunities for him and for our entire family. Through this journey with my son, I started researching, started reaching out to other people who had kids on the spectrum, other advocates for kids on the spectrum. And I went to different synopses with authors who had written books about kids with autism. And so I have done a lot of research, reading, connecting with other people, and I've learned a ton. And my passion is to be able to share what I've learned. And it's hard because it is such a controversial subject, but I have realized over just recently, I kind of try to get into different groups, because I know that that my information is real. But you know what? There is always, you get a lot of backlash, because there's 50% of the world does not believe or think the way you do. And those are the people you really want to reach, but it tugs on my heartstrings too much to put myself out there. So I have decided to just wait for the people who are open to what I have to share throughout my journey. One of the other things that I learned along this way was, about chemicals and toxins that we are exposed to. And that's a whole deep, deep story, a whole deep journey. And so I won't get into that right now, maybe at another time. But, I decided to start taking from the 8 years ago. I decided to start taking a more holistic look on things. But obviously, through that, I still had struggles with what had always been done and the way I was thinking now. And so, I still did some things, went against my gut, and I wish I wouldn't have done that. But it is what it is. And so to this day, my journey is to pray that God puts people in front of me who are willing to kind of listen to this part of the journey, and hopefully that I could help them. So I'm going to share a little bit about where I have been with my health wellness over the last few years, and that is I have not went to a medical doctor for over probably 5 years. My viewpoint about a lot of things don't line up with the way some physicians think, and I clearly believe that there is a time and a place for medicine, for doctors. I am not trying to convince anyone that that the medical field is not necessary. Obviously there is a time and a place for the medical field. But what I want to share is that I started, seeing a chiropractor. I started, eliminating toxins and chemicals in our home, certain foods that we're not serving us. And we are not perfect in that area, but we try to be very good about, the majority of our food is pretty good, chemical free, and I keep toxins out of our products and everything. So I'm always looking for really clean products. And so because I don't go to a medical doctor, I use my chiropractor pretty much for that. And what I do in replace of that, in replacement from that is, blood work and different testing that they can do through your DNA and everything that will tell me where my body is lacking certain things. So just recently, being new to Colorado, I'm like 48 years old, and so I felt it was time for me to go through this process of having a well check. And so I found a chiropractor here, and they are so thorough. I found them actually on Facebook, went to an event they had, and then did my first initial visit yesterday. And they are so thorough in the fact that they will take, your body composition, your structure, your bone, and they will take your physical, what's going on inside your body, and also your emotional. And I don't know if that's the exact terminology, but there's 3 steps in what they want to help you with. It's not just come in, adjust your back because your upper back is hurting and you're on your way. They get to the root cause of everything, and that is what I love. They don't send me off with a pain pill because I'm depressed. They want to know what is causing this. What is causing your sadness? What is causing your pain? And how are you living? And what are you eating? And why does your stomach feel like that? Why aren't you losing weight? They look at all those things and they get to the bottom of it. So is there a hormone imbalance in your body that is causing you to keep this weight on? Did you injure your knee, or is it the way your body is not adjusted to where you're overcompensating? Just different things. And really, I filled out an assessment, and really overall, I have regular stress in my back, from being a mom and a wife and having a family, and but really, I have 10, 15 pounds that I would love to lose just to feel good in my skin, and to, but I really don't have anything medically that I can say, that is going on in me. But I like to be proactive. And so that is why I decided to have this visit. And so I left there yesterday, and her first step is to have blood work done on me, because of the few things that I feel I want to have checked. And then the other is to just do a specimen sample to see if, for one, it'll check to see if there's any allergies that might be. If I keep continuing to eat a food that might be, that my body might be resisting, then maybe it's harder to digest, and maybe it makes me feel a certain way. And so those are the first 2 things that she sent me home to do. So I send off a test with my blood for my blood work. I'll go in and have my blood work done, and then I'll send off a specimen sample to also, just kind of evaluate what's going on inside my system. And, then we set up an appointment to go back for an adjustment, because I did do x-rays, and I do not have a curvature in my neck. So she has to actually try and work at and I've known that. So working at getting that curvature back in my neck will be her goal, and then just overall health of my spine. Everything else looked pretty good. So So I just wanted to kind of share, and as far as, regular visits to the doctor, I know a lot of people are saying, well, you need mammograms, you need to check for, and, so really we're supposed to do self breast exams. And we are, I've done a lot of research and reading about mammograms, and I really don't feel that they are safe. So if that was something that I needed to do, I would do a thermography. Anyway, thermogram. And so they're less invasive. They don't go in and smush your um, breast. And so I don't need to go in and have someone tell me that I need that um, when I wouldn't get that anyway. So it is something that the insurance companies are not um, paying for at this point, but I would highly recommend it. Breast cancer is a slow growing cancer, and so I would not rush into um, to do anything for that right away anyway. I would change my diet and follow a holistic plan to help fight off the cancer cells. But so that is one thing that I don't worry too much about. But and the other thing, there's a lot of information out there about pap smears now lately. So look into that, research that a little bit more, because that's another area that they would be focusing on when you go into for your yearly exams. Um, but yeah, so I just wanted to kind of to share a little bit about the journey that I'm on with my wellness right now. And after I get this testing done, I'd like to share a little bit about what came back and what we'll be kind of focusing on through this journey of wellness. So like I said, I'm 48 years old, and this is kind of what I'm doing just to make sure that I am the healthiest version of myself. So thank you for listening. This got a little bit long, but I felt it was really good information to share. And I hope you'll join me on this journey of wellness.